Hello everyone, this is Book Club Preview. Book Club Preview. Hello everyone, this is Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at the Spiderwick Chronicles, The Field Guide, Chapter 1. Now, before we jump into what's going on in this book, I want to look at some characters. So the first character is Mallory, and this is the oldest sister, and she's 13, I believe. And then we have two younger brothers. The first one is Simon. Simon is 9 years old. He has a twin, and Simon really likes animals. Mallory really likes fencing. She likes to use swords. And then there's also Jared. And Jared seems to be the main character so far. He doesn't really have anything special about him. He doesn't like animals, doesn't like fencing, and he might have gotten in trouble a little bit at school. There's nothing really too special about him, but the story so far is from his perspective. We also have Mom in the story, which we don't know much about Mom. There is also Aunt Lucinda, and this house that they're in is Aunt Lucinda's house. And Aunt Lucinda isn't living here because she is in a crazy hospital. They call it a nut house because she thinks there are little people living in a house or something. And then the last characters that we see are Mrs. Black and Mr. How do we pronounce that? De Terlizzi? Maybe. And these two people are actually authors. So they're writing some books, if you remember in the beginning of the story before chapter 1. And then they get a letter. And we read this letter, and it's about these kids sharing their story. And they want Mr. Black, or Mrs. Black and Mr. De Terlizzi, they want to hear more. And then they end up getting this book. And this is the book we're reading now. They get this book, and then these two authors, they publish it for these kids. So we don't know who they are, but they believe in fairies, they're authors, and theoretically, they're publishing this book that they found. But that's all part of the fiction. Well, the story starts off with the children coming to this house. The Dear Reader part, which I just explained. These two authors are at a book signing, and then they find these kids in this book, and they kind of share about it. And then they show us the letter where the kids kind of write about how to protect themselves from fairies, and how to find them. And this is the book that they actually publish, which is what we're reading in chapter 1. So chapter 1 starts off with the kids coming to a new home. I guess Mom and Dad got a divorce, which is really sad, and so they had to find a new place to stay. And this is this house where their great aunt Lucinda allowed them to stay. Now, as they're moving in, we get to know the characters about, what Jason's like and what Jared's like, what Simon's like, and what's her name? Meryl. No. I forgot her name. We just looked at that. Mallory. There we go. Sorry. And Mallory, they're kind of characters and how they're fighting together. They're bringing their things inside the new home. And Jared, he is carrying some luggage, and when he gets inside the house, he kind of forgets which way to go. And the house is a little creepy, and so he kind of wants to say, "Mom!" But he really says, "Mom?" Kind of has this kind of quiet, squeaky voice. And when he says "Mom," he hears something inside the walls, and he's listening. What is it? nothing else. His brother and sister come, and then he starts to share, oh, I think I heard something in the walls. Maybe it's a squirrel. He thinks it's a ghost, but he says maybe it's a squirrel. Well, some vocabulary words that might be a little difficult for you are garish, is the first one. And garish means too bright or too easily seen. If you think about like a grandma, sometimes a grandma will wear a hat that's just too boom. Or maybe she has a scarf and it's just too bright. And you're like, oh, that's too garish. It's too, it catches the eyes too easily. This house isn't garish because it's old and run down. Crevices. Crevices is like a corner, okay? If you have a book, let me see here if I can find it. Here's a journal. Okay. So here's a book. This would be a corner, right? But if I open it up, okay, down this part right here, this is the crevice. You can't get in it easily. And so in the house, maybe the walls are white, but in the crevices, it's a little green, which makes it feel a little dirty. And the last one, I believe, is crappier, or we can even say crappy. And this means like poop, okay? So poop is not good. And so when we want to say something is not good, we can say, oh, that's crappy. And we can even use it in a comparing way, saying, this is crappier than this, right? Saying this one is worse than this one. So it's just another way to say something is bad or worse. Crappy. A discussion question I'd like to talk about is, what is it like to move into a new place? Maybe you've been lucky and you've never had to move your house. But if you have moved, what was that like? How did you feel? Did you move to a better place? Or was it a worse place? Or did you think it was worse and then it was actually better? Maybe it was bigger, but it was a little older. I don't know. And for the second question, I would like you to write your own discussion question. Please write your question in the comments so that way other students can read it and then prepare an answer. Also, if you want, you can write a sentence to the vocabulary questions, and I will check your sentence in the comments. So if you write it in the comments, I'll read it, and I'll look to see if you are using the vocabulary word correctly, and I'll check your grammar. Well, this is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.